And I am back with another podcast with our DTA superstar, Claire Moslin. Welcome to the DTA interview. Welcome. So, Claire, come say hi to everyone.
Hi guys.
Okay. Claire, can you tell everyone, because you've been with us since May last year, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what do you do?
All right. I was during that time I signed up as a freshman in college, my freshman spring, and I'm from upstate New York. So if you know where Syracuse is, I'm around that area. And what I do for work, I basically am a college student. I'm in my third year, and for school, that's my work. But when I'm on break for holidays or summer vacation, I just work in my local grocery store.
Okay. So you work at a grocery store. You are a full-time student, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And when you like before you messaged me to work with me, what was your fitness and health like before that?
So before that, I basically was very much an avid like high school athlete. I did track and field most for high school, all throughout high school, same thing with tennis. And I was, I guess, in my sense, like pretty decently okay. Like I didn't really go to the gym because I didn't have time for school. But when school ended, I was going to college. I'm like, okay, let's go to the gym. Planet Fitness had this teen like membership where all teens were free to go in. So I'm like, let's join that. I started liking it. My workouts were very much like, I'm gonna copy what this person's doing right here. And my nutrition was like okay, not the best. And really didn't track calories very much. I kind of eyeballed everything to make sure it was like okay. But that kind of felt like followed me through to college, which I would go to the gym after my classes and I would try to keep up with the dining hall. And because I was very much aware of like the freshman 15, so I was very mindful with everything as much as I could be.
Okay. So you were basically an athlete and you went to like a commercial gym and you were just doing whatever. You didn't really have a structured specific plan,
No.
right? What type of results were you seeing and like what were you working for? Like what was your goals back then?
So my goal back then was basically kind of like lose weight and kind of tone up. And that was like my goal. Um, But I really didn't see much results. Like I know like my weight would fluctuate, but like month after month I still look the same, maybe different, but not like a huge change in my opinion.
Mm. Okay, what did you weigh before? Um, yeah, what did you weigh before you met me?
Before I met you, I'm pretty sure if had fluctuated from like 150 to like 145.
Okay. And your goal was to lose how
Like
much?
my goal back then was probably to at least lose like 10 pounds to get to 140, but like my ultimate goal was to be like 135.
Okay. And we are there now, but we'll
Yes.
get to that in a second. Um, when you were trying to do it yourself and you weren't seeing the significant results that you see now, like how was that? How was that like?
It was kind of like it really sucked. Like I was just like, oh, because like I knew like I worked a lot in the gym, and I'm like, okay, well this sucks. I don't really see anything still. So like I kind of dig into my mindset to like, okay, well this isn't working. Why am I continuing it to do? Why am I doing this still? But obviously that really I still did the gym anyways, and like kind of like pushed that mindset away.
So you kept going despite not seeing the results.
Yes.
And even though it sucked, you knew that quitting is not going to help, so you had to keep going.
Yes.
So while you were going through this suck period, what was keeping you going? Like what made you consistent?
I think probably like the like long-term goal that like I eventually will like lose the weight and like get to where I want to be. Like it was a very long-term goal, but like I knew like eventually if I kept to it enough, I would get there.
Hmm. And being at 150 pounds, like what were you most frustrated with being at that weight?
Probably just because I was like what, like young, like between 19 and 20, so like it was just like how I dressed. I would wear a lot of like baggy stuff, like oversized t-shirts. And when I would go shopping with my friends and we all try on some cute fits or like find something and I'm like, oh, this would be really cute. And in my head, I'm like, I would never wear that in public just because of how I look.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you didn't want to wear, you couldn't wear the things that your friends were telling you, oh, you'd look nice in that. You were like, no,
Yeah.
that's not happening. All right. And obviously that did bother you. Um, what are some other things that you couldn't do that you wish you could have done?
I probably like again like more like confidence and like during the summer my friends would all like let's go to like to the beach. And I would go. I would like have my swimsuit, but I'd be wearing like shorts and like a baggy tee over it. And I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm just gonna sit here on like the pool side and watch or like read. So like
Yeah, you did.
definitely not being like confident in my own skin and body to like enjoy like times with my friends who like they don't care.
Yeah, you did one up than me when I was 19 and 20, when I was skinny, not confident. My friends like, come to the beach, it's summer. I'm like, fuck that, I'm playing video games at home. So you at least you still went. But kudos to you, it's a lot more difficult wearing a freaking baggy shirt to the beach in hot summer weather than it is staying at home playing video games. Okay. Now, what negative impact did it have around people around you? Like not having the confidence that you do now, like back before 150 pounds ago, like, did that affect anyone around you?
Um, Not really because I wouldn't say so. I was like nothing really impacted negatively. It was just like I guess my mom when I was little it was just concerned, but she also had a different growing up and like how she weighed back when she was growing up was a lot different from what I weighed. So like she was just concerned in
Mhm.
that area. Not really, no, really not any negativity.
Yeah. So more so you, like your
It was
own
like my own like
self-confidence
head
around.
mindset kind of.
Okay, I get it. Now, when was the moment you realized it's not working? I probably need to reach out, get some help. Like, was there a light bulb moment where you're like, I'm gonna message Pat and figure something out?
Really honest, it was like always like in the back of my mind saying this isn't really working out, like light bulb moment. Like I had was following you for like a bit because like I was new in the gym, so like there were certain machines I just didn't know how to use correctly. And so like when those like one of your videos were like how to use X, Y, and Z correctly, I'm like, okay, I like look through your page and like, okay, I'm just gonna follow her just to make sure how everything's going and then go through your stories, like DM me this. And that was like a spur moment, like very much impulse. I'm like, well, you know what? Fuck it, let's go. Let's see the worst that could happen.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I just realized this as I was talking to you. You came in through watching these form videos that my girlfriend behind me was doing to show you how to do it properly. Now, I haven't done the tally, but I'm pretty sure that out of all our clients, out of all our form reviews, you probably have sent in the most amount of form reviews we've ever received.
Yeah.
Now, going through that process of like getting you to DME, joining the program, getting your form fixed. What were your initial thoughts going through an online program with me? And what was that process of transitioning to something like that for you?
So my like I was very hesitant at like the beginning. I'm like I was like thinking like how will this actually work with like
Hmm.
the online training? Because I know like there's like at least in my area like there are some like personal trainers that like work at the gym and like they help you constantly. So I was like curious. I'm like I wonder how this is really all gonna work. I'm like is this actually gonna like work? Because I know like on the internet nowadays there's like a lot of like fake stuff kind of just like do this and this will help and it never helps. So I was just very like curious and like how will this really help? Just because it's
Hmm.
online and not like interactive personally.
Okay. Now that you went through the process, like it's what, more than a year and a half now, tell us about your experience. Like, what did you love about the program? What did you like about the program? Tell us.
Yeah. So after going through it, I got after like the first 2 weeks of trying to figure everything out, I got really easier. Um really liked how like for the workouts for like these scheduled workouts, there's like a little video of like this is how like you should generally like what it should generally look like. I mean, it doesn't go in depth, but like I loved how like the fixture forum with Coach Joe. That's helpful. I like the little like community chats where everyone's like hyping each other up, as well as like the kind of like intro to like calorie counting because like I never knew how to do any of that. And that's usually about it.
Mm. Something that just brought up, I remember. It's not something that you deal with anymore. At least I don't think, unless you. Uh, I think a year ago we were dealing with binge eating, right? Like it's something that was happening, and we were figuring it out. And like for me, working with many women, trying to like build a relationship with food,
Mhm.
it took us some time. So can you tell everyone what was binge eating like for you before, and like how did we work through that to bring it in a healthier place now?
So binging before was usually almost always caused by like these just amount of stress I'm under for like school, especially like keeping up with the schoolwork and like the amount of stuff they give me and like the tests and quizzes. So that usually caused a lot of it, or just like something would happen in my household that was just really stressful or like not pleasant to deal with, which would cause that. And like I would, and like my go-to binges were just like really much like, sweet stuff, like bakery items and ice cream. And I like slowly like talking through this to you and like slowly but surely like, I can like in my head just like okay, we can like if like some type of like inconvenience occurs, we can still have some like amount of the food you want, but like I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, let's try not to go overboard, just like kind of be mindful of like this is what we're eating, why we're eating this, what has happened in your head, like what has happened in like the moment that's causing you to do this.
Wow, there we go. That's interesting. That's some high level shit. Like a lot of people don't sit there and like, I'm binge eating now. What am I doing? Stop. What's the emotions I feel? Like people just go through life like, fuck, I'm stressed. I want fucking Doritos, Oreos, and everything that comes between. So we went through that diligently for a good few months. Has that paid off? And if so, like how deep did that pay off?
Yeah, that definitely has paid off. Like, for like now, like, 'cause I'm still under a whole bunch, so much stress, but like, I'm able to figure out like what exactly is triggering it, kind of in a sense. But sometimes it's like one factor, but like there's also like multiple factors that are just happening. So I'm able to like pinpoint it a little bit and try to see. I'm like, okay, so this is what's causing me the stress. What can we do to like decrease it?
So what do you do now to decrease it versus before?
I kind of really give myself some time because I give myself at least an hour just to like myself. I don't do any schoolwork. I really don't look at any stuff and just give my hour to an hour for myself to like relax. I would back home, I would like kind of just like chill out with my cat because she'd help me a lot. So
That's funny you say that. I've had a full-on work day and I'm like stressed, not the stress, like I have good sleep, but like good healthy stress, everything necessary stress. And I was like getting a bit sick and I'm like, fuck, I've been back-to-back meetings all day. So I have two dogs and I'm like, I'm taking a 45-minute breather. And as soon as like I'm hugging these dogs and they're sleeping on me, I can literally feel my cortisol like leave my body.
mhm.
I don't think there's anything in the world other than pets that can do that instantly. It's amazing. Okay, now where are you now? Like, a year and a half ago, you're 150 plus pounds. Like what are you weighing now and how much binge eating do we not do anymore?
Absolutely. So now I like I've again like fluctuate between like 135 to like 132, which is like something like 12-year-old me, because I had like this was a struggle even when I was 12, was like never thought would be a possible. And so I'm like, this is really I'm really happy. I'm really loving it. It's just something I never thought would be happening.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, what was the summer like? Because one of your goals, like you want to get lean for summer, were you able to still get confidence like at the beaches? Like what was that vibe like?
Absolutely. Though I was working most of the time, I would not be able to make it to some beaches. But yeah, I still was getting a lot more confidence. I wore some nice little like summer outfits with my friends out, having fun.
Mm, cool. I love that. Okay. What would you tell someone who's listening to this, either on my podcast, on my YouTube, or even a client who just joined, who's like 20, 21, just figuring out their own fitness journey, Claire, that's trying to lose weight, don't know how to count track their macros. They're just trying to figure it out by themselves. Like, what advice do you have for someone like that?
Mhm. I definitely say it is a challenge in the beginning, but it does get a lot more easier as you kind of get the hang of it. Like the ca calorie counting, like because I'm not able to like make my own food most of the time, so I have to use my dining hall food. But because I've been doing so long, I can usually eyeball for like what's a cup and like what's not a cup. Like I'm able to eyeball that most of the time to a pretty decent accuracy, as well as for like time. I know time, especially for college students, is really difficult because of how many studies you have. In my head is that the gym t I give myself an hour for like every single day, and that's mostly just dedicated to my workouts. Like the hour to the gym is like my time to like get rid of all anything that's class related out of my head and just focus on my gym and like my and like what's going on right there. And then after I'm finished with it, all the craziness of classes can come back. But the gym is like my only time I give to myself to get everything done. If you like re they are struggling, like definitely reach out to Coach Pat and Joe. Like they're 100% happy to help you like get through this. Like they're really supportive too.
Mm. I really appreciate that, Claire. Thank you so much for joining me on this interview, inspiring so many others. A year and a half ago, we were just setting up a game plan for you, going through your macros, getting your pull downs fixed. You were like doing a deadlift and your back was hurting and we had to go through that. And every single week you showed up and you were just so consistent. Like you never made excuses. You did all your check-ins. I don't think I've told you this as well. Like when you were back doing the check-ins with us, your check-ins was always the first one. Like you would have
Really.
your check-in. Yeah, out of all the people that are with us, your check-in came in first all the time. So I was always looking forward to coaching you and yeah, I appreciate your wisdom in the program, and thank you for helping me make everyone else 1% better.
Mhm.
Cool. And that is all, guys. If you want to listen to more, come to the Newbie Gains podcast on Spotify or Apple Music, and you get to listen to other clients of the Dream Team Academy absolutely slay their journey. Done. We'll speak to you soon.